once again, welcome back to Plot.
Okay, right, we're off, up and running. First, happy new year everybody. Welcome back to Plot. I know it's been a few weeks, but by we had our work cut out at the beginning of the year, or the beginning of last year, the end of last year, sorry, we had that Storm Dara come across with. Storm Dara, and it did not give us a pounding. We've got a couple of holes punctured into the polytunnels. A few of the fences are down, but luckily, once we get up the Plot here, I'll give you a look around. We've got a load of timber delivered by one of my family friends. So we're going to be starting on the fences, getting them fences repaired. As I say, we've got a load of repair work to do. Maintenance has been very sparse over the last 3 or 4 years. We're not been too full of vigour. Putting it mildly. We've had a few accidents, bits and bobs, but hopefully this year we're going to be up and running and back to normal. As you know, I'm down home, me little 8x6. I've just popped in this afternoon. We had a right covering of snow this morning when we woke up, but fortunately now it's away. It turned to rain. We're really lucky up here in the northeast. We're only about 6 miles from the coast, so I think the salt air coming in helps a lot. It keeps that snow away. A bit farther inland when you go into Stanley and Durham, Yorkshire, it's a different story. It's white over there. But we're lucky here, it's all gone now. It's cold, wet, and there's a little bit of hail just starting there now. So the wind's going to turn around from the north tonight, so it's going to be a bit nippy to say the least. And my temperature today, I've got 42, I've got 44 on my thermometer. So I'm happy with that. I'm like John Salisbury. If you're watching John Salisbury, I've been keeping up with them just lately. I'm never in a hurry to push my plants on. I just like to keep a nice steady temperature. I know the temperature's dropping through the night, don't run about to 40, maybe it might be a bit lower, 35, 38. But I'm quite happy with that. It's not harming the plants, especially with what's in leeks and onions. Just keeping them ticking along just nicely, and that's all I can. I've got 3 varieties of leeks here, and I'm awaiting a special delivery from John Salisbury, the King Charles leek. Now these are just for stock for this year. I'm decided to grow some leeks again. Maybe it's next day, get it at one of the local shows. So what I want to do is build up some leeks, try them out, see how they go, see what they're like for stock, and then next year, if I'm up for it, we'll try a leek show. But I know next year's a long way off, but the way last year went, it just flew over. We were no sooner into the spring, and then before you know it, summer was over and the leaves were falling, and we went to the autumn again. It just went that quick. We had that much to do last year. Hopefully this year's going to be a little bit better for us. Me and Roger's going to get started up there next week. We've actually been up. We've been up last week. What we normally like to do is we normally like to get the seed tatties in around about the solstice time, around about 20th. Just before the Christmas anyway. But as I say, Storm Dara hit her, and that just knocked her right back. What to do, a few repairs on the tunnels, bits and pieces to do, and just we never really got caught up. So what I did last week, I went up in between the Christmas and New Year. We leveled all the bottom tunnel out. I rotavated it, got my rotavator. I rotavated that. Just a little electric one, and I run from my solar panel that's in the shed. Fantastic. So up and down the road there, got a nice tilt, and then Roger went up the other day and put the 3 rows. We'll have a look when we go up there. He's getting 3 rows of early tatties in the lower polytunnel. Now I'm busy working on repairs to the first polytunnel. I'd say over the years it's been up 15 years now, so it really owes me nothing. I joined a little group, Polytunnel Growers Association. It's the new web page. It's on Facebook. I joined that, and load of lads asking how you build them, where to get them from, blah blah blah. There's loads of sites online, but being us, we like to build our own. We're hoping to save a few coppers along the way. So when I'm up the plot, I'll show you polytunnel grows, how we build ours. Such an easy thing to do. A little bit of graft, a little bit of savvy, and you can build. The idea of building your own is you can build it to suit your needs, for what exactly you need, and you can do it. And it's such an easy job. So we'll do that when we go up there. I'll show you how we built them, what you'll need, and then the rest is easy. If you just got a little bit of savvy, you got somebody to give you a hand. As I say, me and Roger built ours in a couple of weeks. The first one's been up 20 years. And the second one we built, the first polytunnel, that's been up 15 years. That's the one with the peach tree in. And of course I added the melon house to that, which at the moment's housing all the dahlias. They're just starting to put up the dahlias up the melon house. And all the years up there is a little paraffin heater, small flame. A double line it inside, and it's inside the polytunnel. So it's keeping the heat up to around about the 45 mark, 40, 45. Fine for me. It's ideal. As I say, and down here, I never wanted any warmer than that. I'm quite happy. If it does get too warm, I can always push that door open, let a bit fresh in. I've got the automatic vent on. Oh, that's what a lot of people don't understand. I think when it's cold, you've got to keep everything shut. You've got to keep everything battened down. You've got everything wrapped up. You don't. That moisture in the air that's in the greenhouse, it needs changing, and really it needs changing on a daily basis. Just to let that fresh air in and let it warm back up again. Take the dirty air out. What you don't need is cold, damp conditions in your greenhouse, which is a perfect breeding ground for virus and all the other molds and fungus that come along. And that's a worse starter for your young seedlings. I know it's only January, but as I say, I've only got the leeks and onions in. Last week I sowed me peppers. I've got 6 varieties. From a very kind friend of mine, sent them down, and there they are. I've got Trinidad Scorpion, I've got the Scotch Bonnet, I've got the Naga Scorpion, the Yellow Harabito, and the Trinidad Red Scorpion. Oh, they on a propagator, just a small propagator, put the lid over, just to keep them nice and warm. You need a little bit of heat for them. So I've got them in a separate propagator. As I say, it's not interfering with the temperatures in here. Pop that back over, and they're happy as Larry. Along here I've got another lot of dahlia tubers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 full trayfuls of them. That's another 10 tubers there. So hopefully we're going to have plenty of cut flower for next year. Plenty of dahlias. There's lots of people asked for them. So I'm setting quite a few of them away, and hopefully if I can get a half dozen cuttings off each one, I'll be well chuffed. But I'll just give you a quick look at the leeks before we shoot away. I was sent away from Harry Houghton. It's a canny grower over there in South Tyneside, and asked for some of his leeks, and he very kindly sent them over. They're not big compared to some of them on the internet, but as I say, I'm quite happy. They're lovely and green, nice and fresh. I've had a little spraying of chamomile tea on Friday. I give them a spray, and they're lovely and clean. They're not wet, they're not moist, they're not soaked, they're just damp. And to me, that's perfect. I water them maybe once a week, if that, and just always feed a compost, because I never like these leeks getting too wet, especially when your temperatures are this low. You don't want to soak in your plants, and if you can, like I do, water from down below. I've got full trays, plenty of trays, without any holes in, and all I need to do is stand them in there, pour the water in, let them take out what they want until it feels moist, and then take them back out again, and that's fine. That's the way I like to water everything. And as I say, it just keeps them ticking over. Now that's the this is a blue. I've got a dozen blues, or a dozen and a half blues, and these ones here are that's a lovely looking plant. These are the Mickwoods from Harry Houghton again. So once again, Harry, thanks again. Some lovely little plants. Over the moon with them. I like to use these plastic cups earlier on, just very in the early stages, because you can keep an eye on the root system rather than tipping them out. And you can see from where I planted them, and the roots are growing right down just nicely. So I have got a bag full of, there it is there, root grow, mycorrhizal fungi. And I always like to spread a little bit of my leeks and onions, just a little tad. My potting compost is my 3-2-1 mix. You go into that and they're quite happy just sitting in there, and they'll sit in there for at least another 2 weeks, 3 weeks. We'll take one to the end of January, which is perfect for me. And then we'll move them up. I have got some pots somewhere. Yep, there they are. We'll move them up into a bigger pot, and then they'll go up on the plot. Excuse me. Probably in the melon house. By the end of January, it should start to warm up a little bit. So the melon house will be fine for these up on the top shelf. Plenty of light. If you notice, there's no covering on here this year. Last year I had it all covered in cling bubble wrap. And to me, I'm facing south and my house is in the way. You know that over the last few videos I've told you. Yeah, I never see the sunshine. Only between the two houses, maybe it's in the morning for about 9:30 or 10 o'clock. I get a little smidgen of sunlight. Or when it sets in the west, I get 10 minutes of an evening. And that's it. Don't see it no more. It's like being in the Arctic here. Permanent darkness. So I've got my little LED light there at the bottom there, and it's just giving a little bit of extra light through the day. I've got it on timer. It's on comes on at 7 in the morning, goes off at 7 at night. But what I'll do is I'll put these up to 4 days time into them, and they'll just sit there till the end of the month, and then we'll take them up the plot. But what's the plan for the time being? So that's me 2 sets of leeks there. As I say, I'm waiting for leeks from John Salisbury. He's supposed to be sending them out this month, so I'll wait with them and see what they're like. I've got my mix all ready. If you're bringing compost into the greenhouse, check your bags. Sometimes if you're just buying the cheap stuff, if you can only afford the cheap stuff, check the bags, take it out, because it's usually bone dry or it's been in a bad place and they're sogging wet. So best take it out. And what I like to do, I like to make me mix up. It's on the tray. I've got my mix there. I've got my 3-2-1 mix. Smells absolutely beautiful. That's my own mix. That's what I'll be potting off the leeks into. I'll be potting a few onions off. These are a few onions I set away. Oh, they're not very big at the moment, but I set them away in middle of December, the beginning of December, and they're just up like that now. You see, I'm never in a hurry to get onions on the way. So I got these given from one of my friends. I got these given in October. Look at the size of them, look at the difference in them. These have just been in here exactly the same. I potted them up because they were in little cups like that. I potted them up, and they're in the 3-2-1 mix, and they just romping away. I've got a couple of them. Now, once again, these will probably end up as stock plants. We'll get the seeds off them. I've got 3 trays of onions at the back there. And then once again, I've got large leeks from one of the lads who I got the onions from, the 2 onions, and they give us 6 leeks. And they're in a bigger pot there now. They've grown away. They're just nice. I mean, look at the colour of them. They're just beautiful. Nice dark green. There's no hint of any disease or stress or anything in the plant. Just nice and moist. Just moist to the touch. Not over wet. And they'll just tick away nice and easy. I've got another tray there. These are Keith Hall's onions. There they are. They were just set away a couple of weeks ago, and they're just ticking over just nicely. They'll not get potted off until maybe the end of February. I'll just let them grow away, make a nice strong little plant, and then I'll decide, you know, growing onions from seed. We've had loads of people wanting to know or wanting to try and grow onions from seed, and that's such an easy thing to do. As long as you get your mix right, all you want is a standard seed tray. If there's any amount of seed trays on the market, I'm always showing you different size ones. Like so when I put the peppers in, there was only a half dozen seed in each one. So really, you don't want to go to the expense unless you get a small pot. You can set them away in small pots like that. You get a half dozen seeds in there quite easy. So sometimes what I do, propagator, I'll get 2 of them in there. I'm just showing you, such an easy way to do it. Propagator top one. I've got one over there, got one here. And this is the one I set away early on. And these are red, just ordinary red peppers. I think I'll use special. One of the lads got a really massive pepper, and he says, "Oh, we're going to try it." So what he did, he opened it up and he got some fantastic seed over. He sent me some, and all I've done, I've got 2 little multi-purpose pots in there. I've got me basic compost, just ordinary, the ordinary compost mixed with perlite, not with a 3-2-1. The 3-2-1 is ready for potting on only. I just use my basic multi-purpose compost for in there. Reason being, peppers are going to be in there for a long time. They're going to take a long time to grow, and they need the heat. So these really are in that little heat bed over there. So they'll stop in there for quite a while. What I don't want growing is a lot of weeds. Because when I've got the 3-2-1 next year, you will get the weeds growing through. So these are just a multi-purpose compost and perlite. And they'll just sit there quite happy until they come through. And then once they come through, we'll start putting them up into the 3-2-1 mix. Small cups. The reason that you get me peppers in this time of the year is because they're a long growing plant and you really need a good decent plant for planting out, especially up here in the northeast, because we can go right until May before we even excuse me, we can go right until May before we even see a hint of the sunshine. So what we'd like to do is get a nice strong plant. You've got to have the room in the greenhouses for peppers. It's the same as your tomatoes, everything else. You know, you've got to have the room. So what we like to do is once the peppers are through, we'll just put them into cups, small cups, just like and they'll sit in them cups for about at least 6 weeks. The 3-2-1 mix will feed them just fine. We'll just keep them ticking over, regular watering, regular spraying, and then when they're ready, we'll put them off into a bigger pot, and then they'll go up the plot, and they'll stop up there until May or June, and then they'll be planted out in the polytunnel. Now we're going to have tomatoes in the first tunnel this year. We had the potatoes in last year. So in the bottom polytunnel, where the potatoes are now, once they come out, we'll be filling that with sweet corn, marrows, courgettes, anything that's going in there. Cucumbers. We like to put a range of fruits and veg right throughout the tunnel. I mean, we're cropping all year round. We're just finishing off the last of the winter cabbage up there. We're digging up the last of the parsnips. That was in the 100-foot greenhouse, which is definitely going to come down this year. And then what we'll put in this place, we don't know yet. We haven't decided. But we've got plenty of time. We've got plenty of building materials. So we might start on building something where the 100-foot greenhouse comes down. I am going to build a new little hoop house, and it's mainly just for putting leeks in and onions in. But I will, once I start on that, I'll take you step by step on the film, and I'll show you exactly how we're building it. And then you can add these designs to your own build. We'll probably start next week. When I go up the plot, I'll show you the first 2 pipes that we've sunk into the ground. We've got the hoop on, and then we'll just the hoop to the height that we want. We'll cut it to the size we need. You can build it higher, lower, whatever. The reason we built our tunnel so high is when I show you when we go up there, is we're wanting the space up a height where we can put plenty of bench. And we'll always need plenty of benches for our seedlings. Well, winter flowering, summer flowering, pansies, all them are up there now. They're all sitting on benches. We've got shallots up there. We've got all our stock plants all sitting on the benches. So, you know, we always need plenty of bench work, and that's why we built our tunnels so high, so we can have benches up at height, and plus they're great for storing extra timber and bits and bobs, you know. So that was the idea of building ours. But we'll take you through it, step by step. I'll show you how to build our hoop house, which is going to be for maybe a row of onions and a row of leeks. And then at the end of the year, when the leeks and onions out, I can use it for storage. I can use it for keeping the winter flowering pansies, winter flowering spring plants, and storing it for timber, keeping it dry. There's nothing worse than looking for bits of timber if you've got jobs to do and having to soak them wet. If you've got somewhere to keep it nice and dry, that's easier to work with. So that's what I plan for the next couple of months. But I thought I'd kick off this video down here, down home. As I say, I was going to do these today, but I'm going to leave these until tomorrow. And what these are, once again, they're long, sweet red onion. I was sent away from them. I got my eye on them online, and I thought, well, I like a nice red onion, so I'm going to try them from seed and see what they're like, because red onions are notorious for bolting. I've tried over the years all different varieties, but always from sets. So I've never grew red onions from seed. So this is the first year for me. So I'm going to set them away. There's 50 in the pocket. So I might set them away in there, which is 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 24. It's a 30 cell seed tray. I might set them away in there because they're nice big cells, and I can leave them in till they get a nice decent size before I decide to pot them off. So that's my job for tomorrow. I've got umpteen seeds in there that need sorting out. That will be sown over the next few weeks. I've got the lobelia to sort out, because I always like to get my lobelia in before the end of January. That's a long, slow growing plant, so I like to get lobelia in. I've got a few more bits and pieces in there that I want to sort out, like some tomatoes and all that. They can wait until February. I have got some Fantasio that I sent away for again. I grew them last year, if you remember, and absolutely marvellous. So what I'm going to do early on, I'm going to set some Fantasia away, exactly the same as what I did last year. I'll set them away in my tent, my little tent underneath there with the light and the heat mat. I'll set them away in there. I'll get them to a nice size when you can get the suckers off them, and then I'll root the suckers off into individual pots or little jiffy pellets again, like I did last year. I always like to try them out. They're great. Give them a good soak, and you can root the cuttings off into them. And I got some first class little plants out of them last year. Now, why I'm doing that is because you only get 10 seed in a packet, and you're paying about £4 or £5. I've got about 3 or 4 varieties, and then I got sent about 4 or 5 varieties from my sister. I come back from Spain. She brought some nice big beefsteak ones, Spanish, some nice black plum ones from Spain, and there's the Tigrella from Spain. Well, I've had Tigrella before, I've grew them before. They're a nice tomato, but I might just put them to one side, we'll see. Because I don't want to clutter the place up with too many varieties. Normally we have about 10 varieties, but I've been trying to cut back over the last couple of years and get out just my favourites. My money maker, that'll never go away. I always grow that. Gardener's Delights, another old favourite. Alicante, Ailsa Craig, if you're growing in a cold greenhouse, or if you're growing in a cold polytunnel, Ailsa Craig, you can't go past it. Absolutely fantastic, good old British tomato, and it's lovely tasting, and that's what it's all about. If you can grow a good tomato, looks nice, tastes nice, and you're on a win all the way. So follow it through the season anyway. For all the new lads and lasses that's been asking to join on the plot over the last couple of weeks, well, we're back again, and as I say, we'll be cracking on next week. We'll get ourselves up there. I was hoping to go up this afternoon, but that rain's starting to come down heavy, so it looks like I'm going to more or less finish this video off tomorrow. If I do get up this afternoon, then I can get it online tonight, and I'll just show you. I'll have a walk along the tunnels. One of the main things I've got to do is chop them sweet peas. At the end of last year, we got some really sunny days. If you were like us up at Christmas, the sunshine was brilliant. Or a couple of really hot days, and of course, it's made them plants jump. Now I like it to be cold. Back in the year when I saw them, my sweet pea, I always like to be cold, just like them ticking over. But now they've jumped up, and they're a good size. But no doubt. We'll chop them right down, and I'll show you what I mean when we get up there. We'll cut the heads off. I know it sounds cruel, but you've got to be cruel to be kind sometimes, and I'll explain exactly why we're doing it, why we chop them down, and why I like to sow in the autumn. But you can sow now, you can sow your sweet pea now. They'll take away, but you want a nice good root system for planting out in April and May. This bed out here is still empty. I've brought all the stock plants down that I had up the garden. Now, I dug all this out. I even dug the roses out. And what I did, I put them in the back of the garden here. And they're in pots in soil. And what I'm planning to do is to bring them all back over. I've had it turned over because there was loads of plants that I didn't want. We wanted them taken out. Lily of the Valley was one of them. Oh, it got a hold in there, and there was just the roots were all over. So I've turned it all over. I've dug it all out. I've put a few bags of horse muck on. I've got some nice brown, rich compost down the bottom there to bring up. Put a few bags on, and then hopefully next week, if I get a dry day, I'm going to plant everything back. Plant the roses. I've got peony roses. I've got my rose bushes. I've got red hot pokers, delphiniums, all to go back in. All my perennials, and then I've got a couple of bagfuls of bulbs. I know it's a bit late, but beginning of the year they'll go in and they'll take root and they'll be fine for next year. We will get a small flower from this year, but I'm quite happy just getting them in. But I've got a little bit of paraffin burning away then and just catching my chest. And it's just to put a little bit of CO2 in the air, just for them plants. Like you see, I'm quite happy with them. The leeks are taking over just nice. Maybe it's next week or the week after. We'll let them go for another week or two, and then we'll put them off into the bigger pots. By then I'll have to create some extra room, and it's all about being creative in a greenhouse. What I'll do with them, I'll pick the biggest out of the Mickwoods and the blues. I'll pick the best ones out of them, and I'll probably pot about 6, maybe 10 of them up, and leave them on there on the light, and the rest can go up the melon house. They'll be slowly potted up, but not in a big pot. So they'll just put them up there, maybe it's a 9 centimetre or a 12 centimetre pot, and they can go and sit in the melon house. Little heater on up there, it's just keeping the frost free, and let it take over. And I'll probably give a few of them away to a couple of friends up the garden, because I'll not use all of them. I'll probably plant about 10 of each variety out. Up to now I've got 1, 2, 3, and the one I've got coming from the King Charles come from John Salisbury. I'll have about 4 varieties to choose from. I've got a little bit of a leak there, dropping through there, so I'll let you check on that. But that's it. Till we'll get up the plot and we'll finish this video off. I'm going to get out of here and go and get a cup of tea. I've got the fire going at the moment, and we'll take some extra firewood upstairs and it's nice and warm. As I say, nothing we can do today. I was going to put them onions in, but it's a bit cold. As I say, the temperature's fine for the plants, 42, 43 in here, and I'm quite happy with that. Just let it tick over. And I've only got that little heater on, and of course I've got my bench, my little bench warm cable in there, but that's keeping the heat up. That's fine. Everything's going away the way it should be. As I say, I've got my peppers in there. Away. I've got my dahlia tubers here, sitting on there, and then we'll start making some room. Maybe in a fortnight's time when we'll start potting off. But we'll take you all through that in next video, or the video after that. Once, as I say, once they're ready to go into the new pots, we'll pot them up and we'll shift them up the plot. Create some room down here, and we'll be fine, because in the coming weeks you need your spaces at a premium in the greenhouse, and you need it, especially when you're putting tomatoes, cucumbers and that in, and then you're potting off and you're taking all that extra room up. But no doubt we'll sort it out later on. It doesn't look like it's going to get any better this afternoon. If anything, it's going to get worse, because it's going to swing round to the north and come down, so that'll be a really cold wind. But we'll worry about that later on. Anyway, for now, as I say, we'll get at the plot and I'll show you what we're going to do with the tunnels. Hopefully, what we're going to plant, and I'll show you how I've started that building my first new tunnel. We've had for quite a few years now. been 15 years since we built the last one, but we'll get cracking. Once I get this fence up, get a new fence put up, there's plenty of timber there to sort it out, and then we'll get cracking on this new polytunnel. And of course, potatoes are in. I've got shallots up there to go in, and I've got spring cabbage still to plant. But what I'm planning on doing is get this these couple of repairs done in the top polytunnel, and then I'll put the rotavator in there, and I'll rotivate the whole lot, and I'll get them couple of rows of spring cabbage put in, or a couple of rows of shallots. There's lots you can sow at the moment. You know, you can start sowing lettuces and cabbages. My sprouts are not going to wait until next month, February. End of February, before I start sowing them. I've got 2 or 3 different kinds of cabbage to put in this year, so I'll leave all that until later on. There's plenty of time, as I say. We just like to keep things ticking over at the moment, just keep myself busy with a few leeks, few onions, and it just keeps me busy. That's the main thing. Okay, so I'll see you at the plot, hopefully this afternoon, if not it'll be tomorrow. We'll get this video finished off, we'll get it online. And like I say, just welcome all the new people that joined the plot, and we'll show you what we're doing in the polytunnels as we get up the plot, and we'll show you how we're going to build the new ones. Okay, so I'll see you all again soon. Okay, right, well, good morning everybody. Once again, welcome back to the plot. I never got up yesterday afternoon. It was absolutely bitter. The rain come down, the snow come down, the sleet come down, the wind was howling, so I thought better of it, keep my chest covered, and come up this afternoon. It's still raining pretty heavy. We're lucky, not like the rest of the country. All we've got is sleety rain. Of course, we've been near the coast. It's ideal for us. And of course, snow is one of the worst things for polytunnels. If you leave it and it builds up and you get a really heavy fall, you can really do some damage to your polytunnels. So you've got to really be on the ball. We come up, even in the dead of winter, if we've had a heavy snowfall, I'll come up, I'll get my little tool and I'll go along, and I'll knock the tops of it. What you normally get is another thing is seagulls. Seagulls will come down and nest on your top, and of course with their claws they pull holes in it, and before you know it you've got leaks. You've got leaks all over. Now I've got this handy little tool here, bit of piping on the end of a shaft, and all I need to do is up a height is to give it a good knock, and that ensures that it doesn't go through the polythene. Nice heavy polythene, 750 gauge or 1000 if you can get it. I've been using 750 for a couple of years now, and it's ideal. What we've got to do next week is spring cabbage. They've definitely got to go in. We've just finished the bottom tunnel, or Roger finished the bottom tunnel. I rotavated it, and he's put 3 rows of early potatoes in. That's a swift in, that's them out the road. As I explained, we normally like to get them in around about the solstice, 20th, 21st. But we're a bit late this year with Storm Dara. The little bugger come and blew a couple of holes in the tunnel, so we've had them to repair down the bottom. He's blew part of the fence away up top, so we've had that repair. But it's all good, we're getting there. As I say, the spring cabbage will go in next week. I will start a video off next week. Of course, this bed here is all ready. All I need to do there is just to rotivate it. I've got shallots here, they're going to go in. Spring cabbage is going to go in, shallots are going in. I've got some garlic up the top end in the 100-foot greenhouse where it's just net. I've got some shallots in there. I've had to do a few repairs to the borders along here because after 15 years, and of course it was all pallet wood and boards and just painted up, but they've rotted away and the sides are starting to crumble a little bit. But apart from that, the tunnel's fine. The tunnel will last for another 20 years. And as I say, we built our own. You can see by the hoops. And at the bottoms there, all there are is staging tubes, small 6-foot staging tubes. They're sunk into the ground, 4 foot above. And then there's boards right along the top and along the bottom. And what it allows you to do is to put a net on. Now some of them are filled in from the inside with polythene. And what you can do in the summertime, you can take the frame off, and just so you've got the net on the outside, and you've got a fantastic opening for your breeze to come through. The net's on, it's keeping all the bugs and whatnot out, the butterflies and that, but it's letting the fresh air through, and that's what you need in your polytunnels, because believe you me, they're absolutely scorching once you get cracking. but absolutely horrendous at heating them. So we like to make sure we take all the frames off, all the way down, take a polythene off. A lot of it's crumbling after the winter anyway. So we'll take it off, and if it gets too cold next year, we'll renew it. This is a little melon house that I've built inside this polytunnel, and we called it a melon house because I put benches along, and what we did, we grew melons in it the first year. But got most of my dairy tubers not in there. They're just cut them, just starting to bud away there. I'm quite happy with them. I've got bits and pieces, chrysanthemums and along the far end there. Nothing too early. I've just got a little bit gentle heating here, just keeping it frost free. My little heater's going there. I'm quite happy with that. My peach tree here has been 6-7 year old now, and it needs a good haircut. I'm waiting till all the leaves die back. But they're just about finished here now. Just needs a good clean up, get all the old leaves off, and then we'll prune it back, and then it's ready. The part of the bench along here is giveaway, so we're going to have to repair all that. But we'll pop next door. As I say, this is just one of our polytunnels. This got big double doors on here, big PVC doors. You can open them up, door either end, which is ideal, because you can, in the summertime, you can hook them back, put a hook on them, and it just lets the fresh air right through. And that's the whole idea of a polytunnel. It can really get hot if you don't have the proper ventilation. Well, this is our second polytunnel. Now these are 13 foot wide and they're 40 foot long. Absolutely amazing. It only took a couple of weeks to build these. As you can see, this one's all prepared. It's been done, and of course, silly me, you can see where it's been dug out. The other day when we come up, there was a thrush up on top of the stage in here. So I told Roger just to put the bottom door on the hook, and the next day I would come up and the bird got out, I would shut it down. Well, of course the fox comes around here every night sniffing around, and if he can sniff manure on the side, he'll dig up, and of course that's the end of it. So I'll just rake that level. He hasn't done too much damage. I'll just make sure we keep them doors shut now. There's a few repairs to be done to this one. The door needs taken off and repaired. I've got a new piece of mesh to go in there. There's new sills to go in. But this bed here has Formica, and that'll outsee me. As I showed you the last time through here, this is all our bedding, spring bedding. Absolutely marvellous. All starting to come into flower there. They'll be ready in March for planting out. The Bellis daisy. We've got pansies. We've got Sweet William. Oh, we've got all sorts. Foxgloves. And they'll all go out in the springtime. That's why I like to grow mine nice and cool through the winter. Now this polytunnel, inside, we've got staging tubes from the bottom of the bed right up, and on that we can put supports, which is here, right away across the tunnel, and that gives you that extra strengthening. You can see by here, here's our tubes, a clip on there, and this pipe here just fits straight into the clip, and then you can tighten it up, put the boards along the sides, and you've got an absolutely fantastic. Get your polythene pulled nice and tight. It needs doing again in here, because after the summertime it goes a little bit slack. Pull it tight, and you've got a fantastic cover. Lots of interest online about buying tunnels. There are some good tunnels, but they're expensive, and you can't get the cheap ones, which are absolute rubbish. They'll end up blown away in the first gale if you don't tie them down properly, if you don't put plenty of support down. And that's why at the end of the day, rather than spend all that money, we thought we'll build one to suit. And of course this is what we've got. We've got exactly what we need. We've got our height, plenty of height. We've got benches up a height. We've got benches down below we can put our bedding on. All timber, everything goes up a height. It doesn't cause too much of a problem with summertime with shading and that. So, you know, we'll make sure all our spare timber is kept up at height, it's nice and dry, and we can work that any time we want. But yeah, if you're going to have a tunnel, try your hand at building your own. We're sending away for the pipe. We've got a couple of good friends that over affairs, they give a few bits of staging. Most of the boards that come from one of my family members are only pallet wood, 16-20 foot long, some of them, boxes, and we're splitting down. Join them together, cut the ends off, and they make fantastic boards for your polytunnels, and that's what we've done over the years, just built. And then again, your plastic. Now, for this piece of plastic, mine comes in 7.2 meters, I think it is, and that's from 13 foot to up there by 9 meters, and that usually comes about 170, 180 quid. But doing that every 3 or 4 years, I don't think it's that much, and you've got a fantastic growing area. You can see you can grow all year round in it, and that's the whole idea. So I'm gonna, one last job to do. I'll take this camera off and I'll stick it on a tripod before I go home. I had to come up today because I had me brown bin in the kitchen was full, so I had to come up and empty that, and that's emptied. And of course, just opening up some of the bins are absolutely fantastic. That's for compost for the new year. We'll be emptying a few of them in a couple of weeks' time, and that's the whole idea. Fresh horse muck, brown compost from your home, papers, tea bags, any rubbish, tea, anything like that, all goes in. Skins, fruit, anything like that. Veg peelings, it all goes in there, and it all helps rot down. Even cardboard, paper, it all rots down. And of course we drink black tea at home, so it's not so bad. It doesn't smell. If you've got milk in it, so it goes sour after a couple of days. If we've got a bit of black tea in the bottom of the pot, well, that just goes into the compost bin and all, and it just keeps it nice and wet. And of course when I bring it up here and tip it in there, the worms love it. And then you get a bit of green garden compost over the top of that, and then some either horse manure or some pigeon muck, I just got the other day, very kindly off one of the neighbours. A couple of bags of pigeon muck, and we just sprinkle into that, and the worms just go crazy over it. And hopefully by March time, they say end of February, I've still got some bins in here that I grew early potatoes in last year. Well, the soil in there is fantastic, so I'm going to use that for my next couple of mixes. And then I'll take a bin out, homemade compost, add some of that, add our sand or perlite, and that's our 3-2-1 mix. I've showed you plenty of times before, but no doubt in this springtime we'll make another big mix up, and lo and behold, here's the sun getting out. Can't believe it. I'll make another mix up, and I'll show you exactly how we make a 3-2-1 mix up, which takes us next year into these fellas, a sweet pea. So I'll stop this and I'll put it on a tripod so you can see exactly what I'm doing. Okay? Right, okay. We're here again. Back on the tripod. Now I've got my hands free, champion. So hopefully you'll be able to see. Oh, sun getting over there. It's absolutely amazing. Hopefully you'll be able to see our polytunnel in all its glory. There's another load of bedding over there. There's foxgloves, there's pansy, more bellets. There's a load of stuff to far down the bottom end there, which is all ready for planting out. And of course, these are one of the main things I wanted to get done over the next week. Now normally, I tackle these around about the, I'm going to have to turn this around because I think the sunshine's going to be right on the screen. Yeah, it is. Normally I tackle these around about February, but a couple of weeks before the Christmas we had some really sunny days. It was cold, but it was sunny. And of course in your polytunnel, the temperatures can rocket up, and that's the result. Now these are in pint pots, and there's the roots coming out of the bottom there now. So I've really got to do some work on these now and stop them from getting too big. Now as I explained, I always plant these seed in my 3-2-1 mix. You're going to get a few weeds, grimsel, whatnot growing, grass. There's a bit of grass growing there, there's some grimsel growing. And it's just my own compost. And it's absolutely marvellous. They've had nothing apart from a couple of sprays of chamomile tea. They've had no feed whatsoever, just what's in the pot. And that's the result. Absolutely marvellous. Lovely little sweet peas. But of course, too early in the year for that, and this is the next job, and this is crucial to getting a really good strong plant. If you're going to start them off in September and October, well, be ready to be chop them. I usually leave 3 stems from the bottom. We're split there, that's 1, 2, and then start from there. That one, chop them. So straight away, standing upright. That one's not too bad, but I'm still going to nip them because I want them to bush out, and that's absolutely massive, that one, but cut him off there. And of course he's straight up, standing upright. Nip his top off. Nip his top off. There we are. Haircut and a shave. Now we'll all nip back to 2 sets of leaves, and what'll happen now is they'll start bushing out, and come April, well, end of March, beginning of April, you'll have a first class pot of lovely sweet peas ready to go in your garden. That's why I always sow September, October time. You get it. It's not so much what's on top, it's what's below. All that pot will be absolutely chocker with fruit. So when you put that in your garden, I just plant the whole pot, everything. I don't bother splitting them. I mean, normally I put 3 or 4 seeds per pot. In this one, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I've got 6 in there. So I must have been a bit lazy and just added a few extra. But that's the result. That's one pot. There's another pot there. Now, there's not many weeds in that one because I've already de-weeded it. So once again, we're going to go 2 sets of leaves past the base, nip that top off, and just straight away they'll spring back up. Lovely strong little plants. I know you think maybe you're ashamed to chop them. There's a little runner starting to come off there. We'll take that off. But believe you me, once you've done that, a little bit of tire in there amongst my compost. Once you've done that, your plants are lovely for it. I'll do one last one. There's some lovely little ones growing away from the bottom of the stem, starting to shoot away. So we'll just nip that off. We'll nip that off. Nip him off. Such an easy job to do. You don't have to go daft, just take your time, and you can see the spring back lovely and fresh. And there we have it. First class pots of sweet pea ready to go out in the springtime. And of course, the much earlier you plant them out, the much earlier you get that lovely scent. I can guarantee when these go in the garden down home, these will be in flower in June. End of May, beginning of June, you'll have our first flowers, and sweet pea just can't be beat, can it? Absolutely marvellous. So that's 3 of them. I'll work my way through. I've got a full tray full to do. I'll just work my way through them, do a couple of days that come up. Yeah, I'll get a couple more done this afternoon before I go back down. I can't believe that sunshine. It's just come out of nowhere. But this is the northeast. We'll get 4 seasons in one up here. And as I say, when I woke up this morning, I thought, God almighty, are we going to get hammered? It was dark, really dark for this time of the year. But when I got up and I looked out the window, I was over the moon because it was just heavy cloud, black cloud. And of course it was rain, it was sleety, but there was no white stuff. And then when I switched the news on, I seen the rest of the country out. Thank God it's not up here. But like I say, if you're growing in a polytunnel, that's when your main drawbacks is the snow. If you're building a big, wide expanse, like it says, 13 foot, 14 foot wide by 40 foot long, absolutely fantastic. You can grow anything you want in these, and I mean anything. And we chop and change them each year. We've got the tatties going in here. When these tatties come out in May, we'll be filling this with sweet corn. There'll be spring cabbage going. There'll be summer cabbage going in. There'll be soft fruits. God, my memory serves it. There'll be cucumbers. They'll go in there. Anything. It's just to fill the land up. Lettuces, a couple of rows of relish if you want. You know, put anything you want in them. And then the reason being, that one in there where the tatties were last year, the tomatoes will go in there. That's our main crop. That's a big tunnel, and that'll be full of tomatoes. Well, five varieties of tomatoes will go in there. If I've got few spare, they'll think I always dig in here. That's why we like to chop and change them every year. It fills it up. We'll get some fantastic crops. A lot of stuff we just give away. We've got a home next to us with elderly people in, and they love the fruit and veg. So, and of course, our families all get their fair share of it. So that's the whole idea. But polytunnel growers, well, this is our tunnel. This is one of our tunnels. We've got 2 glass greenhouses up the far end of the garden as you come in. we can grow tomatoes and that in there. And I like to set some early seedlings off on the benches in there. No heat whatsoever, just a glass greenhouse. But most of the stuff that's on heat is down home at the moment, as I showed you. A few leeks and few onions I'm starting. And towards the end of the month I'll get the seed box out and I'll start sorting through like the lobelia and busy Lizzie, stuff like that need an early start. Peppers already in, as I've showed you. And we'll make a start on some sowing in a couple of weeks' time. We'll probably do a video at the end of this week or the beginning of next week. If I get that bed in there finished, get it rotated, and then I'll start the video off. I've got spring cabbage to go in there. I might put the shallots in. At the moment they're not growing away too heavy, too fast, so I'm quite happy leaving them in the pots for the time being. But we'll get the spring cabbage in. I'll get the rest of the land prepared, get it good liming, rotate it, and then it's all ready just for planting out. I've got them few garlics up the top end there that are in pots. They'll go into the greenhouse. They've had a good frosting outside, which is what you want before you bring them inside, as I explained. Otherwise the bulbs are not there, expand, and they'll not break into their segments. You just end up with this big solid bulb. But I'll explain all that later on. But for the time being, once again, thanks to everybody that joined the plot over the last couple of weeks. I've had quite a few over the holidays. I hope you like what we're doing, and just keep an eye on our videos, and you can grow along with us right through the season. Okay, don't forget, it's Jeff over on the plot. If you want to join, you have to send a friend's request, because we're now a private group, trying to keep the scammers and spammers out. Gardening, that's what we're about, and nothing else. So okay for now, and I'll see you all again soon. Bye for now.